think all week. It's already Thursday. Wow. So please take a look at this disclosure. Take a look at this disclosure while you're looking at the disclosure, making sure you're reading it. I'm going to wait for a link so this way I could tweet it out. So if anybody at lunchtime wants to watch this live, they can come in. So here we are. I'm going to say, you know what, come hang out. Come hang out with Red Dog. Anyway, so I'm sure you're almost done reading that. So basically, let's go over to the VTF because we have to go over to the VTF in order to continue to go. So I'll give you, this is the full screen. This is for compliance. You can see everything that I'm in. First of all, here's everybody talking. Some people say, hey, you know, do you have a community? And of course I do. We've had a virtual trading floor for 10 years. This is everybody talking about, you know, what's happening, what they're doing, et cetera, et cetera. So if you look over here, just so you know, this is my positions. Okay. Some of them have been on for like a month. You know, I've been in a portfolio approach since October 11th. Some of them I started earlier in the week. Some of them I put on yesterday. Some are day trades. Some are swing trades. Some I trade around. But at least on the virtual trading floor, if you remember, you could see them live. You could connect the dots from my Twitter charts with my language in there, and sometimes I have some spelling errors and grammar mistakes, but that's because I'm doing everything fast. I only have 2 thumbs and 6 monitors and 2 workstations, and I have to trade and I have to be a dad. So anyway, cut me some slack, the Grammar Patrol. Anyway, you go back here and you'll see, like, you know, you've seen this before here and there. So, you know, Amazon was the last big video that I did that I bought on at 1785 and traded around, which I'll get to. You know, CRWD I've been in since last week. Really nice move. Facebook I've been in for 3 weeks. Netflix I've been in since Monday. Chewy I bought today. Beyond I've been in since like 2 weeks ago. ICE like 2 days ago. So when it says overnight, that means I came in with it. I didn't trade it. I had overnight. It was up a little bit. I trimmed a little bit. Snap, I've been in for 2 weeks. Twitter, I've been in for 3 days. CGC, I've been in for a bunch of weeks, etc. All the way up, and I've been in accumulating these 2 guys for for like 2-3 weeks, as well as, you know, pins was good and work was really good. So anyway, what do you see over here is flat. So basically, yesterday I was not in Apple. And I posted the chart and said if Apple can get above 350 to 380, I'm going to buy Apple, and you know, maybe we get a new all-time high trade. So I bought it, held it, and today I closed out. You can see my last sale was 11.23. So it shows you actually, you know, the last sale. So everyone's like, oh, Red Dog, why are you selling it now at 309.50? I'm like, you know what? I just made 9 points, and I have so many positions. I'm getting tired. And you see Tesla short because, or not short now, but I shorted Tesla in the, you know, the beginning of the day and traded it and made a little whatever. I also, if you look here, this is actually a little dangerous. Yesterday, into that ramp up when everyone was getting all excited, I shorted some 520 calls, some 510 calls, and some 515 calls. So I shorted some calls to get synthetically short. You know, we're 6 days up. I'm like, I don't really want to short the stock, but if I could have room till Friday to short, I could take in premium, be synthetically short. So you're seeing all different kinds of things that I'm doing. I'm day trading, momentum trading, I'm swing trading. I'm selling some naked calls, which I don't usually do. That's very, very, very risky. I've been in some call spreads, like the Beyond call spread. You go here. This is, you know, overnight, because I had it from a while. I bought the 80s and I sold here the 95s. Cost me net cost $4. It's above 95. I make 11 points. 15 minus 4 is 11. That's a nice percentage gain. Besides buying it and giving you the charts and all that stuff. So, you know, this is like a vehicle for everyone to kind of watch what I'm doing, to connect the dots of my game plan, connect the dots of Redler All Access. By the way, this is Redler All Access. Okay, write this down. If you want to try it for a month, I don't see why you wouldn't, especially if you're lacking ideas, especially if you're looking at the news and you sold on Friday morning last week versus buying. I actually did a public video on that, especially if you're, you know, I don't know, just up all night worried about the futures on Tuesday. Then you wake up and, you know, you go to sleep for a half hour, you wake up and all of a sudden things are up. So lots of ways to maneuver your process. And I've been doing this for 22 years, so hopefully I can help you do that. So with that being said, you know, let's get into some of the charts. Wow, look at this. Everyone's like, oh my God, why is the stock market at all-time highs? You know what? The reason why the stock market now is at all-time highs is because we just consolidated for 3 weeks. Okay, remember that big gap down on that Friday when everyone thought, oh my God, that was here. The world was going to end when we killed, you know, Salmani. Well, we held the prior week's low. This was the week of New Year's, I think. 32.12. Remember, Mike, if we hold 32.12, you can't get too bearish. Well, we held 32.12, and we held, which was right there. And then we had an inside day, took out the inside day high, then took out 32.46, 32.58, and here you are. Okay, and here's your 8-day moving average, which we've been above for a long time, ever since this recent consolidation. So from 31.54 when we took this out all the way to 32, probably 70 now, it's another 120 handles. That's a sequence. I like to call these things active sequences. Every time the market kind of consolidates, proves it can go up, you put on a lot of different positions, and as long as it proves to stay strong, you stay with it. My active sequence here was intact for a long time. This was the gap up that took out the downtrend. My active sequence was pretty perfect above the 8-day, almost from October all the way through December. And then right here, the active sequence broke. I went from like 15 to 17 positions to like 5 just in case. Then you had your bottom tail, and then it came back up to resistance, built a nice flag, let the 8-day catch up, and then another active sequence started. Sometimes an active sequence is faulty. Sometimes it's a trap. Sometimes it lasts for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you can stay with it. For me, I've been in this portfolio approach. Why do you think I'm so great? Because I've been holding so many positions, but the market's really giving me no reason to get out of them. Anyway, I did get flat Apple, so I'll show you why. Not, there's really no reason why. Just to me, went sideways. I bought it when it got above here, sold some, and then I just took some off. But, it's a little extended, but not too much. Some guys are shorted. I just took it off. It was a nice day-and-a-half trade. I've taken so many day-and-a-half trades in this Apple. It's made my last year plus. Plus, I have my whole career I trade Apple. But if you remember, I did a video after earnings, which was, where was it? It was, right here. Remember, buy verse 245, add above here, and then look at that move. That was a fantastic move. Made a lot of money in Apple. Then it corrected, was pretty much out of it, came up, I think, right in here, started consolidating above prior resistance. So I think that's where we got back involved again, and then had another move. So anyway, Apple's looking just fine. Doesn't mean you have to get out of it because I'm out of it. What am I in? Okay, I'm in Amazon. Amazon, if you remember, right here, when it was nice and tight, I think on this day, I was like, I teased the fact, I said, I think Amazon is going to be the next stock to make the 100-point move. Some people bought it on this day. Some people were like, oh, Red Dog, it didn't happen yet. I'm like, okay, I said it on Monday. Wait, or whatever it was. And then all of a sudden, pow, it went to 1901 literally in 2 days. I got some tweets saying that I changed their lives, which was very cool. Anyway, you buy here, you sell some. Then remember the Red Dog reversal? I think I was somewhere in the Poconos and I tweeted, I'm like, oh, maybe an 1840 Red Dog reversal to buy some back. Anyway, now lo and behold, we're right here. I still think it's not leading, but there's a good chance it comes up to fill that gap before earnings. You look at the longer term chart and you'll see that it's still, nowhere. It's just for 2 years, it basically hasn't got back to 2050 or 2035. This is actually a new active sequence. Okay, here tried one, failed. Here tried one, failed. This one is actually intact more than the last one. So that's why I'm still in it. If an active sequence fails, where it gets below the 8 days, shows relative weakness, and breaks below a prior pivot, and okay, I'm done with it. But if it stays there, I'm going to stay with someone. I'm going to trade around it. So that's kind of like with Facebook. That's why I'm still in Facebook. Why? Facebook, we bought, I think, on this day, went inside, so held the 8-day, acted well, bought more through 210, okay, trimmed some, then I'm like, it has to hold here, it held there, and now all of a sudden, here you are coming back to the all-time high. So I've been in Facebook for probably a week and a half. I think I posted the chart. It was a longer-term chart. I said, this is a stock I think can make an all-time high in the first few weeks of January, especially if the market holds in there. So anyway, still in it, trading around it, and it's been really nice. Here's that all-time high pivot. It's getting right up there. Sometimes you get up here and it backs off a little bit and then powers through it. We'll see how it goes. But all in all, Facebook is something I trade every day. It's on my virtual trading floor long now, and you see it in my morning note every day. I go over the indices and then I go over my go-to list. And my go-to list usually starts with Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Amazon, Netflix, Roku. Lately Snap and Twitter's on there sometimes. Sometimes Shop's been on there, and then I've had the wellness group, and then I've had the IPO corner. The IPO corner's been sick. Okay, so many nice trades in the past 2-3 weeks. Anyway, let's continue. So Facebook right here, would I add to it? No. Okay, it's a little extended from the 8-day. Amazon, like I said before, I would think about adding if we can get above and go, but if I add and have too much, it's hard to hold Amazon because it's still a little lethargic. Now Tesla, all right, Tesla. This stock has I think my number one stock for the past 6 months. Started here. Down here is when everyone hated Tesla, the whole world. By the way, I was trading here when it broke the descending trend line. Here I said, let me take a shot. And I bought a call spread that wound up making 500% for the regular all access community. Anyway, that was a shot and it paid off. And then all of a sudden, I tweeted to everyone out there in Twitter land, I think including the public Twitter sphere, right when it caught up to the 8-day. I'm like, I'm buying Verse here and adding if it starts taking out this spot. And that was a nice trade. And I was still in it. And then remember the Cybertruck happened. Cybertruck happened. Everybody in the world called me an asshole. Excuse me. Oh, did I say that? Where it was like, Red Dog, you came out. I remember I was like, the next play that I could think goes all-time highs and make 100 points. No one gets Tesla. I'm like, it's Tesla. And then 2 days later, the Cybertruck happened, and every critic on TV talked about how ugly it was and how much Elon Musk has lost his touch. You guys bashed me. I navigated my call spread. I bought back the calls I sold. I was straight calls. And then here, when it got above the 8-day again and repaired, and we talked about all the deliveries, boom. That's when I got back long the stock, and I added another call spread. And then there you go. So right around here, okay, everyone was getting bullish. I'm like, guys, be a little careful. It's a little overbought. It's very extended from the 8-day. I would not be buying it there. It was like 430. Then it pulled in. Then you had a red dog reversal buy, right? This was as high as what? Let me give you a little red dog reversal lesson. This is a great one. Okay, if you sold into strength and sold 430, 435, pulled in, you had this low here, which was what? This was 409.26. Sorry, this is wrong. It's not 25, it's 26. I'm a perfectionist. And then it reclaimed it. So if you sold into the 430s, you weren't jumping out of your skin when it went to 400 that day, 30 points lower. And if you chased 430s, you probably sold it on the lows instead of waiting for a good dip. That's why I say entries and exits matter. So anyway, here's your red dog reversal. Got through here, all of a sudden up. Now everybody's raising their price targets. And that's why I said yesterday, I'm like, guys, this isn't the spot to buy Tesla. When Tesla is 50 points away from the 8-day, which is the strong trend, which it always goes back to in some capacity, do not be a buyer of it. So I saw a few guys, a little bit struggling short. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell. It was like 485. I'm going to sell the 510s, 515, 520 calls. So I have a cushion, which was a little scary. It was still a little scary, of 30 points, but I'll take the premium in. So like, Red Dog, but your risk is unlimited by selling, naked calls of Tesla. I'm like, I get it. First of all, I have a big call spread, and that's going to expire. We're going to be 200%. But by selling naked calls, I'm giving myself some room. And if I get converted on Friday at 520, then it's super duper duper extended. They'll short me the stock from the strike that I sold, and I'll trade around it next week. So as of right now, it looks pretty good. I just need it to close below 510 tomorrow, and I keep all the premium. Anyway, I did a little red dog reversal today. Went above 498.49 by 30 cents. So if you had an algo that shorted it because it pushed above, went below, you made good money. Anyway, it's still extended. Let it breathe. Just breathe a little bit, Tesla, so I can collect my calls, and at one point we'll buy the stock back, but not here yet. Netflix, what are you doing? A little off day today. I got long on this day. I held through this, added yesterday, sold some strength, and now I'd like to see it hold around here. Just like I didn't try and be perfect here and just get out of it and come back to it. So that's the thing. That's another little concept. You don't need to be perfect, especially when you're carrying a lot of positions. So what I do is I trade sometimes a little less shares, and I do more giving it some space. So now, although it's red and a little relative weakness, I'm like, it came from all the way down here. It's just fine. It's choppy. Do I still think it could fill some of this gap? Yes. Did I sell some above 342? Yes. So now I'm going to, sit in some, and it really shouldn't get below this. This would be, this would be perfect to hold. Gets below like this area. I'd start to get a little upset about it. But then really it's the 8-day. The 8-day has been holding, and it's stretched. So that's why I don't like to buy a lot of things stretched from the 8-day unless it's a very tight pattern. Roku, what are you doing? Oh, still in this range doing a whole lot of nothing. You don't hear me talking about Roku a lot on Twitter because Roku hasn't been good. Roku has been, choppy with little trades. Like this was a good red dog reversal here into there before reversing. This one had a decent play before that. But anyway, so that said, Roku, I'm just letting it, sit on the side. So Snap's been a really nice swing trade for like 2 weeks ago. Remember, I was talking with Grasso. Me and Steve Grasso are pretty good friends. I'm like, hey, I think your Snap looks good. He's like, well, I'm already up 5%. I'm like, okay, you've been talking about it all year, but I'm pricing it now. That was right here, I think. This day, I started messing with him. I bought Snap back. And then I added here, and then it held there, and now look at it. Wow. Oh, look at that. I'm making money as I sit here. Look, I went over buying this a week or so ago. So in my charts, I always give you some language. It's important to read the language. Axwell was upgraded this morning. I trimmed some and hold some, 1710, and you get 18. So it held 1710, and now it's, where is it? Look at that, it's a 1789. That's cool. So I'm still in Snap. I just have a little less. And I don't have too much. So like yesterday, when it was lower by 40 cents and a little relatively weak, everyone's like, Red Dog, it's relatively weak. I'm like, it's really not so bad. It just had 3 days. It's fine. So anyway, that's that. Twitter I picked up earlier in the week. I sold some pre-market. So I think I picked it up here. I added yesterday, sold some. So now I'm also giving this some room. 4 days up. So the thing is, if I sell all of it just because it's a little bit lower in the day, chances are I'm not going to really watch it and see when I want to get back into it, and I'll just stop engaging it. Which is what I do with Microsoft. Unfortunately, with Microsoft, it was so fantastic to me last year. And I did actually a video on this also right here. Remember the gap up after earnings? I bought it here. Then you had the Jedi contract. That was fantastic. Friday, I'm getting phone calls from everybody. Oh my goodness. So it helped the weekend. Had a few more IPAs, but I'm kidding. Anyway, here I'm like, you could buy it versus here. And then that happened. I think I got out in here, and then I haven't really looked at it since. So I took out this active sequence. Felt good that I wasn't caught there, but I never went back to it. And now look at it. Doesn't matter because I have 15 positions. You can't be in everything. But I'm just saying, if you get away from something because you want to be perfect, sometimes you don't get back to it because there's only just so much bandwidth that you have. Like this, like Uber. I sold like the IPO sector or section or corner. I had Uber for 2 weeks, and yesterday I just felt like it was in my target zone. I wanted to sell it. Okay, so I sold it. Okay, so I was buying it in here. Remember, buying it above 31, that was a strategy. You can look at the charts on Twitter. And then I wrote it this whole way, pieced out of a lot of it, sold it. But now that I'm out of it, I'm not really watching it, so I might not see if it gets down to here, I should be buying it back or somewhere around here. So if it gets down there, somebody hit me and say, hey, Red Dog, Uber is in a spot that you should be buying it back. So I'm going to wait, though, but that was pretty good timing. I got lucky with CRWD. I bought it in here, added, I sold it on this day. Then yesterday I tweeted to Red All Access, hey, I'm buying CRWD. We sold it above, 56. I'm buying it at 54, and then it just popped, and now it still looks good, and I'm still in it. Today I bought Chewy. Let's see what it's doing. Woo! I'm kidding. Anyway, went sideways for a month. I haven't been in it for a month. Today somebody's like, hey, Chewy, look at it. Someone is going to take out 30. I'm like, okay. I didn't go into a think tank. I didn't check every different indicator, whatever, all those fancy words. I said, okay, it got above 30, I put a stop in at 29.70, and then I went back to everything else I was doing, and now, it's looking pretty good. So it's something I'm in now. Okay, this was the Red Dog reversal that engulfed this day, that put it back on the map. Red Dog reversal top saying, hey, we're out of resistance. It needs a rest. Rested this whole time, and now look at it. All these, I'm saying a lot of things that I've taught over the past decade that if you've been taking my webinars or if you're part of my community, you understand. If I'm talking another language, you should take some courses. Anyway, that's Chewy. I'm still in pins. I'm not in love with it, but I sold some today. Basically I was buying it in here, added there, sold some yesterday, sold some today. I'm still in some, and I still think, it could catch up a little bit, go sideways. I don't want to be perfect. I could sell it all today and say, hey, we had a nice trade, but then I'll never stay with it. I won't have any inventory there. Net, I was buying it in here. I trimmed. By the way, when things are up early morning, I always sell a little bit, so this way I could buy a dip. So when gaps are in my favor, I always sell a little bit, so I could buy a dip. Say that again. Doesn't matter what it is. If I like today, I have 500 Apple and it's up 3 points. I don't care if I think it's gonna be up 5 points. I'll sell 200 shares and I'll hold 300. If I have 1,000, I'll sell 400 and I'll hold 600. If I have 2,000, I'll sell 500 and I'll hold 1,500. It all depends. Just so you can buy it back, and then you have your sell rules. But anyway, we won't get into that. My little bio. Okay, so I've been buying this for 2-3 weeks, and today it gapped up and it's trying to hang around. When as high as what? When as high as 465. Where is it now? 429. No big deal. I love this going into the what's it called? The JP Morgan conference. Yes, it's not on highs right now, but look at the move it just had. So let it go sideways a little bit, and then next week when they're in front of all the different funds and they're telling their story, or something happens on 7 of their trials, maybe we get a real play. Right now it's just trending, and it's got a great consolidation. If you want to read more about it, I think, who was it? Somebody put it as their number one idea and give a whole big analyst report on it. It was either Piper Jaffray or someone. You could see it online, but I still like it a lot. CGC, what are you doing? Yeah. It's still not a friggin' rock star type move, but if you remember, we bought in here. I got to sell some, bought it in here, sold some. I'm still long it here. Some guys are like, hey, look at the inverted head and shoulders pattern, where maybe it can get going. So at some point, it'll get going. You should not just be trading this for a living. It could be one of your positions, one of your theses, you know. But at this point, the January effect's over, so they can't sell and take losses. So if it's still heavy, like if it didn't reverse yesterday here, I would probably be done with this. Instead, it reversed, so it kept me in it, and now I'll be engaged. So if I do see some awesome volume, some awesome price action for some reason, I could add it through there, and I'll be ahead of the game. Kind of like what happened here. I was buying. All of a sudden, I saw the reversal. I was able to add, and I was the first one there. Anyway, that's that. Crone, I'm still in. Hanging in there. Okay, not so bad. Looks like it, remember we were buying in here. I sold some into the 8s, and now I bought some back. And again, I'm not just trading that for a living. I was in Apple the last days. I'm still in Facebook. I'm still in Netflix. I've been in Amazon for weeks. I've been trading the wellness group. I'm like, so, don't misconstrue that I'm sitting here trading hundreds of thousands of shares of this little stock all day long. No, it's just something that I have, and I add a little bit around it based on what's happening. Disney, I haven't been in for a while. And not special. If I were you, I would just be in versus this spot. ICE I'm in. ICE I like to chart, ICE, big sideways upper channel. I bought it on this day. I've been holding it. Yesterday, everyone's like, oh, Red Dog, don't you want to get out? I'm like, no. It's above the moving average. It's fine. And the old Red Dog probably would have got out, and then the new Red Dog, and then he wouldn't have got back in, and then all of a sudden it gets going, and I'm done because I had one red bar. So that's why you got to give things more room. So far, so good. I would probably be adding if the volume comes in and the volume is super duper strong to get above here. Right now it's still hovering in there. So if you want to do a tier system lesson, okay, basically if you were in here buying it tier 1, this is your tier 2, maybe you get back to tier 1, now you're holding tier 1, and then if it happens to get above this with volume, you get to your tier 2 or tier 3, comes up to here, you get back to tier 1, and then you hold it. So that's how you would do a tier system. But you're not going to really see it break out if you're not involved, unless you have like an alert or whatever. So I'm, involved, so I'm going to watch it. Beyond has been a lot of fun. So Beyond, oh, look at it. It looks really good, guys. Remember I was here doing a video on Beyond, I think, what was it, 2 days ago? Just because, I had a January effect thesis and I was in it, I'm in the calls, and I woke up, I'm like, oh, let me do a Beyond video and talk about my thesis and talk about, the tier system and how to use a call spread. Well, anyway, and then it really went. And then I was buying after hours, and we sold some. So if you're on Red All Access, I tweeted that I'm getting out of some at 87.88. And then at the end of the day, I tweeted I'm buying some of 81.50, 82. And now here we are, as it looks like it's going to be taking out this spot and work its way to probably fill this gap here. What's filling that gap? This gap filled is, what's this low? This low is 97. Yeah, why not? Because once it gets into the 90s, everyone's like, oh, it's going back to 100. Probably fills that gap up to about 97. So I'm going to be staying with this trade, and I'm going to be trading around it, which I think you guys should do also. When would I add to it? Well, I'd like it to go maybe sideways one more day, and then it gets above yesterday's high of 88.27, and I add to it. If it happens today, I might add to it. I don't know. It depends also if I'm not at the gym. It's right now 12:11. You guys are cutting into my gym time right now because I've been up since 4:30 this morning, and I wrote my note that went to Red All Access at 7:30 with my video and my 20 charts. So at this point, I'm a little frazzled. Got to clean up a little bit. Also, I'm helping coach my son's game tonight against Verona. Anyway, that's that. Hopefully you enjoyed my midday video. If you like this kind of stuff, what you got to do is you got to become a member of Red All Access. Try it for a month. I do a morning call video just like this, pre-market, so you can take advantage of the open. I sometimes do a midday call. I always do a recap. I post charts all day long. I tweet all day long. I trade all day long. I do a lot of friggin' things. And that's why I guess I have some coffee. And I have my balance on the weekends and feed the brain so I could think clearly and execute fast. All things you have to do if you want to have a living. And at this moment, I want to say goodbye. Maybe I'll see you to recap, or I'll be in Short Hills tomorrow. Bye-bye.